thank you for sparing your valuable time this Saturday morning. We hope that you do find this session insightful, and let's not waste much time, and a round of applause for everyone for sparing your time this Saturday morning. Thank you so much.
Let's start the session today.
Hello everyone, good morning. I hope you all are doing good. So before starting the session, I would request you all to please scan this QR code and fill out the form. So let me tell you an interesting story, a 1985 Coke story. So in 1985, Coke was worried that its younger generation in US was preferring Pepsi. So what Coke did? They did a 2 lakh blindfold test and created a new Coke. What happened? That they received 25 cases per day. What these people were telling Coke? They all were saying a single thing like, how dare you change the taste of my Coke? That even though the brand or a company is legally owned by the stakeholders, but it is psychologically co-owned by its consumers.
So, similar kind of failure happened in the citrus world. Can anybody of you try to take a guess which brand could it be? Tropicana. Correct. In 2009, what happened with Tropicana? They decided to change the packaging of their orange juice Tetra pack, and when they landed out in the consumers, it did not land very well. They revolted, and it is said that they lost almost about 30 millions of their revenue when they changed the Tetra pack. The people were disappointed, and as a result, they had to rebrand themselves and revert their decision. So they introduced their original version that they had changed it from.
So, welcome to today's session. This was the biggest change in the history of branding that we have today. So, everyone knows like what is marketing, right? Everyone knows in general what marketing is. So, let's understand it through an example. Suppose you want to purchase some groceries and you have a list of 10 household items. So even before you enter the supermarket, you knew at least 2 brands of each listed in your list. So let's try it out. Suppose I want to buy toothpaste. So you have to give me 2 brand names of toothpaste. Let's try it. Toothpaste. Guys, anyone from the back? Toothpaste. Any 2 common brands? Just give me 2. Colgate and Pepsodent. From this side, any biscuits? Biscuit brand? Parle-G, it's a common brand, right? Parle-G. And one more, ma'am, any hide and seek? Yes, any few? Yes, exactly, Barbin. So what does this mean? So let's do some math over here, and you have 10 household items in your list, and you knew at least 2 brands of each. So you knew at least 20 brands before entering the supermarket, correct? So how do companies make sure that they are known by the masses? And the answer is yes. So now we know marketing, why marketing is necessary, and even though effective marketing helps the customer to be informed about its product through the right communication channel. So now it's important to understand the importance of customer behavior, right? So let's take another example. Like, do you know, like average 20 minutes a shopkeeper takes at least 20 minutes just to purchase the groceries, and they covers the 23% of the supermarket. And according to the American Times survey, 58% of the purchases in the supermarket are very unplanned and instantaneous. So this is the reason like companies make sure that they want to understand this customer behavior, like what compels their target audience to make such on-spot decisions. So because while taking these decisions, they want to influence those decisions so that they can bring in more sales, right? So let's understand through another example. Like suppose we want to buy a pair of running shoes. So while looking around an outlet in the market, you came across a local shoes shop selling shoes. So how much would you pay for a pair of running shoes sold out by our local stores? How much would you pay? 5 to 700, okay? This gang? 1,000 rupees. Chalo, they have increased their price. So you understood my question, like how much would you pay? So even before you ask, even before you make a purchasing decision, you might be having these few questions in your mind. Like what if it tear off in a month? What if its soul wore out? Or will the shopkeeper will be exchanging these products or the damaged products? But while you having these questions, you wanted to ask these questions directly to the shopkeeper, but they will tell you the answers in front. Why? Because they want to close the sale, right? But still, even after so much of convincing and we getting the answers, we still lack confidence. Why? Because we have the fear of paying much higher price for such low quality shoes. But why don't we have this fear of purchasing when we are purchasing a Nike or an Adidas? Why? Even though it is way more expensive, but still we don't have this fear, right? So why? So companies like Nike over the years have invested a lot of time and millions of dollars in understanding the customer behavior, and Nike spends a major chunk of its revenue in its global promotions. So let's just look at these numbers for Nike. So in 2014, Nike spent a whopping amount of $3.03 billion US in its global advertising. And these numbers have grown to 3.21, 3.28, 53, 3.75, 4.06, and these numbers are continuously growing. This figure shows that the companies are religiously investing in its marketing strategies and becoming a brand name so strong that they are creating a brand image so strong that whoever wants to purchase running shoes would easily prefer Nike over many other brands, even at the cost of paying much higher price, right? So we know effective marketing helps in engaging the customers, building trust, differentiating from the competitors, retaining the customers, and in fact it drives the profitability, correct? So effective marketing is very important to understand the customer behavior and act accordingly. So because it helps in making the customers stay. And the effectiveness of marketing in today's world depends upon like various factors, and it is very important for us to adapt these strategies and to meet this evolving consumer behaviors and market dynamics.
So we saw two stories earlier in the session, right? They were two failure stories, and of such big brands. They had a big community, a big team of making these decisions of Coke and Tropicana, and there could be more, right? But yet they failed because of some reasons. There could be thousands of reasons, of course, but there were some common reasons. If they had adopted or if they knew of it, it might not have happened what happened, right? They might not have lost such a huge amount of revenue. What is that? Let's digress into that and understand what are those key aspects which, if were followed then, it might not have resulted in that failure. So first is real time. Now before understanding real time, let's just take a scenario, right? So let's say that you went to a Zara app, and I will be giving only Zara and H&M apps, by the way, because I shop a lot. So let's go to a Zara app, and you started a purchase. You found a product and you added it to the cart. Now what happened was, when you were about to check out, the product went out of stock. It has happened a lot of times. But then I came out and I did not do anything. You would not do anything, right? Because you don't know when it will come back in stock. You won't go and check like every minute, like is it back in stock or it is not. So you did not complete the cycle, and as a result what happened? It was a two-way failure that happened, right? You did not get what you wanted, and the company also did not get what the company wanted. It could not generate the revenue and you could not get what you wanted, right? So instead, if you had received a real-time communication saying that, oh, the item that you were looking for or you were interested is now back in stock, your first instinct would be to go back to the app, complete the purchase, and get your favorite jeans or pants or shirts or whatever you had you wanted to buy, right? So that was the power of real-time marketing. If when it was happening for Coca-Cola and Tropicana, the stories that we heard, if they had sent some real-time communications to their consumers and asked what their preference is, if they wanted some rebranding, and if they had received a huge amount of no, that no, we do not want to change the packaging or we do not want to change the taste, they would not have lost such a huge amount of millions and trillions. That was the power of real-time marketing. Now, you know, the companies now have started understanding that real-time marketing is actually very important. They go far beyond and above to send you real-time communications through different ways so that they can increase their loyal customer base and increase their marketing. So the different ways is, first, they start loyalty programs. So for example, you all use like Paytm and Google Pay, and we all see that small banner saying share our app or refer your friends to download the app and you will get 100 rupees back. What are they doing then? They just know that that your friends do not have the app. They show only those friends, right, who do not have the app, and they tell you that you will get 100 rupees back or 50 points if you refer the app, if they download, and if they make a purchase, or if they send money, even 1 rupee to someone. So what are they doing through that? They are making you a loyal customer by giving you some perks, and they're increasing their database, they're increasing their customer base. And once you start, whenever a new app is downloaded, the company is heavily profited. If they are marketing and branding through you by giving you some perks. Another way is that they start membership offers. So when you go to these different apps, let's say H&M app, they say if you're not a member, please become a member for free and you will get pre-access to the sale. Now who doesn't like pre-access to the sale, right? Why will you want to go to a sale and see that, oh, S size is already out of stock, now what will I do? You will always want a pre-access to the sale, right? Because you want your products as soon as possible, right? So that is a different kind of offers that these different apps give you as perks, so that you start giving your information to them, and then they will start marketing towards you. They will start sending you different offers, and so that you start buying and start adding to their revenue a lot. Then in the same way, they send you vouchers. Sometimes you might receive some push messages, right? Some SMSs saying download the app and get 10% off on your first purchase. What is that? That is all them giving you vouchers so that you download the app and you complete the purchase. So we all scroll into Instagram, right? When you go to Instagram, and there are a lot of Instagram new stores that are opening over Instagram, right? Or a lot of small retail stores. Whenever you visit the store there, the first banner that pops up is on your first purchase, get 10% off. On your buy 2 products and get 25% off on the second product. What is all that? That is all them giving you vouchers so that you can increase their sales and complete your conversion cycle, which we just saw a slide back. Then there are other ways like trending new products or recently viewed. So whenever you go to these websites or maybe these apps, there's always a small banner or maybe a small area where with the heading saying recently viewed, and then it adds 2 more products to it. Let's say you visited 2 blue jeans, it will add 3 more blue jeans of recently viewed, because that will what? Give you options that you might like something and you might complete their cycle of conversion. That is all real-time communication which they are making when they were capturing your actions in their database. And how does it help them? It increases their marketing. Let's hold on. Can you guys just look at the email, in the email inboxes through which you filled the form earlier? And can you guys tell me what does your email say? She received an email for Salesforce Marketing Cloud. He got one from Health Cloud. So you all fill the same form, right? And you receive different emails. How did that happen?
Based on the preferences that we offer.
Correct. So that was the second topic, right? If I had sent you an email with full of different clouds under Salesforce, you would have discarded it like very quickly. You would have opened and like, yeah, it's very big email, I don't want to read it, it is not very necessary, and you would have like, oh, crossed the email or deleted the email, right? But when you got the email of the cloud that you wanted to see, you are more prone to open it. First, you receive that in real time. That is, when you fill the form, you were expecting something, right? You were expecting that you would receive an output of the action that you took. Now, there are higher chances that you would go to your email inboxes and you would feel appreciated, or you would feel acknowledged, that the company acknowledged that you filled a form and you wanted something and you got it just when you wanted it, right? You got it in real time. That would increase your open time, and that would increase, help the company generate the revenue that it wanted when you were opening the email, and you might show your interest in it. So second topic, as ma'am already said, was preference based, right? If I had cluttered you with so many emails, you would have been confused, like which to open, and why would I even open these 10 emails? If you have chosen Health Cloud and had I sent you an email of Sales Cloud, you would be like, why did I even fill the form, or why did I even make the choice of giving my preference to them? But when I filtered the email and I sent you only the email based on the preference that you made, you are more tend to open it, to use the links that I sent in the email, and thus increasing the read time, the open time, and thus helping the brand to target the customer and tell their information that they wanted, helping them to increase the ROI in future. If they see that you were interested a bit, they would send you more marketing emails around the same preferences that you made. So with this new concept of preference based marketing, they are making explicit decisions for you and not just guesstimated decisions, because earlier when Coke or when Tropicana made their decision of changing the strategy, they were all guessing that the customers might like this new packaging, they might relate to the packaging, and they changed the packaging, right? If they had asked your preferences, and if they had sent you a real-time preference, a real-time email to capture the preferences, what the consumer want, and if they had received a no, they would not have changed it, right? And they would have not lost that huge amount of chunk that they did. So that is the power of real-time marketing and preference-based marketing, where you make decisions based on the consumer's choices and their preferences. So this is, so when you go to the email that you receive, there is a small line underneath which says manage preferences. That takes you to a page which is a custom preference center, which we have built in Marketing Cloud. Now that is one of the ways that companies use to capture the preferences of their consumers. So whenever you go to this email, to the email, and you go and click on this link, you get this huge form where you could fill or update your profile. Let's say your name change, right? Let's say my spelling is BHAVYA today. Tomorrow I decide to change it to BHAVYAA. Now I want right communication, right? Why will I want to read my name saying with a different spelling? So I would go to this manage preferences and I would update my spelling. So whenever next time when I'm receiving the same different communication from the same brand, they will send the personalization with the correct email, with the correct name, or maybe let's say today I sent Health Cloud as my preference, but tomorrow I'm changing it to, let's say now I'm moving to Sales Cloud or maybe Service Cloud. I will go and update my preference there, and from next time when I receive the communications, it will be around Service Cloud or Sales Cloud or maybe Marketing Cloud. So whatever the preference that I made is going to influence the decisions that the brand is taking for me. So in that way, I will be getting what I am wanting or what I am expecting, and the brands will be getting what they are expecting, which is completing the purchase cycle and generating the revenue through you. So we all have been part of some data leak, right? We all know. There are some very vague websites over the internet which say that enter your email and we will tell you who has leaked your data. I don't know if that's true or not, but all of us know that data gets leaked, right? If you send your personal information, if you fill a form, which maybe you might have thought when we were asking you to fill the form initially. But from in today's world, it is become that there are laws, there are different ways through which companies or government make sure that the data does not get leaked, that the consent, the trust that you're showing in the brand while filling your information, it is not misused. So first, but what is compliance, right? Compliance is, is a big umbrella under which comes a lot of aspects. But three very important aspects of compliance is first is trust. So when you're filling a form, or when Jaren told you the story of Nike, that you would go and buy Nike shoes for 4,000 rupees but would not give 400 rupees or maybe 1,000 rupees, except some people, you would not buy that from some local shops, right? Why? Because you had trust in Nike, which they made through marketing, that they would not breach your trust. Then there is yes please marketing, which has recently come up, which which means that if you said yes, I can use your email address for sending you newsletters or maybe sending you promotional emails, only then company should send you the emails, right? If you have said no, that no, I don't want to receive emails, or no, I don't want to receive any push notifications from your brand or from your app, if still you start receiving it, that is breaching the trust, right? That is not respecting the choices that you are making. So this new term has come up, which is yes please marketing. Only when the consumer had said yes for something, you do that from the consumer. Otherwise, the consumer would not feel connected to the brand, and it would feel like, when I'm not getting respected for the choices I'm making, I would rather unsubscribe and get deleted from the database, right? So your instinct would be, let's unsubscribe from this brand and I don't want to be part of the brand. Then there is respect. So when does this is a very important aspect, right? So if I ask you for the preferences, that please tell me which cloud you like, or which cloud, what is your preference on the cloud. If I had sent you, if you had chosen marketing cloud and I sent you health cloud email, even if that was one email that I sent you, I did not clutter you with 10 different emails, but that one email was also not based on the preferences that you made. Would you have felt respected? You would have been like, why did you even ask me for the preference, right? If you were not able to respect the preferences, then why are you saving it into database? Just let it be and let it go. So that is the respect. So when you are making some choices, when you are showing the trust in the brand, your choices, your trust is getting respected. So that is compliance. So these three factors make up the broader aspect of compliance. Now, are there any laws which like pushes the brand to follow these compliances that we just talked about? So there are different laws in different regions of the world. So that's first CAN-SPAM Act, which all the Salesforce Marketing Cloud people know, because when we work for US, that is one of the major law that we have to work under, which is CAN-SPAM Act. So it's a big law which has a lot of aspects under it. But the key factors is that whenever you send an email, you need to have a physical mailing address of the company sending you the email. Now what is physical mailing address? If you have received an email and you do not know which brand is sending you that email, would you feel connected to the brand? No, right? You would want to know who is sending me that email. So that physical mailing address makes sure that you understand from where that email is coming, and if you want to take some action, or maybe if you want something to change in the company and you do not know how to reach, you would have that address to look out and take the action based on that. So another is that you have to include unsubscribe and manage preferences links in the email, so that if the consumer wants to unsubscribe from the email or change their preferences, change their language from English to something else, or you want to unsubscribe from the brand, they have the accessibility to do that. Another is that there is a GDPR law which came in on 25th May 2018. So this is an EU region that it happens, right? So in Eastern European region, all the brands have to follow GDPR, which also has a lot of different sets of rules under it. For example, you cannot send push notification to the consumers after 10 p.m. because they understand that is you are communicating to the consumers when they are maybe chilling or having their own time. That is you disturbing them in their own times. So that is one of the GDPR rule that is very important when you send SMSs. In the emails, again, you have to include the unsubscribe section. You have to include the physical mailing address, because the consumer needs to feel connected to the brand that is sending them the information. Then there are some laws in India which are now starting to unfold. For example, you cannot send 6 SMS messages in about 1 hour to the consumer. That is breaching the law. You cannot use the public information. You cannot use their personal information publicly. That is again breaching the law. That is breaching the trust. So let's say if I show your phone number everywhere here, would that be right? No, right? It's not good for me to show your personal information. So that is the laws that help the companies to make sure that they are respecting the choices that you're making. So you all might be thinking, right, ki, you asked us to fill the form, but did you ask us if we could send you the email? So when you fill the form, there was a small consent just above the submit button that we will be using your email address for sending you the email. If you still go and if you unsubscribe, you will stop receiving the emails, which of course we will not be sending now, but that was just for the demo. But if you had unsubscribed, or if you had checked out of this box, you would not have received that email also. That was us respecting the choice that you were making. If you said that, okay, get my information but don't send me emails, we would have not sent you the email. Then in the email that you had received, there is a small section called unsubscribe. So if you go today and if you unsubscribe from the database, you will stop receiving the emails. So everyone, everywhere, if they are marketing you, it is ought for them to follow the GDPR laws or EU laws or respect the choices that you are making. That is only when it will feel like they have had an effective marketing around.
Thanks, Bhavya. So now we understand that once upon a time marketing was a waiting game, but not anymore due to real-time data, and preference-based personalization makes sure that every interaction is valuable, and customer experience is one of the top of the mind when building these strategies. And compliant-based is more about creating the trust between the customer and the brand, and it is a pillar which is more about just the check boxes, and it is the commitment to the ethical practices. So let me tell you an interesting story, which is a success story which is using these triads of marketing, that is real time, preference based and compliant based. When it comes to football, personally I just only know one club's name, that is this Real Madrid, but it is a common knowledge that this club has the largest fan bases in the world, right? So what does this club does? This club, to bring all its fans together, they partnered with Microsoft and launched a Real Madrid app. And so what this Real Madrid app does? So Real Madrid app fans can compete, they can chat, they can buy tickets, they can even purchase the merchandises and anything. So these are the offers which these Real Madrid app offered. And not only this app served as a social interaction platform for over 5 million fans over the world, but it helps in offering personalized messages. Like they use the real-time strategies and they use your preferences and they send you the notifications and the discounts on the vouchers and the merchandise. That was all personalized and based on your consent. So if you can see the Real Madrid app, you will see a data tab where it is written, there are like many privacy and terms and conditions are written, and there are like specific videos even to watch. So this is one of the success stories where they have used real-time push notifications to communicate on the basis of your preferences and using the consent. So in the 90s, when Real Madrid built their own home stadium, that was Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, so they have changed the experience how fans used to watch football earlier. But when it comes to digitalization, Real Madrid app makes it more connected, and it is that this is the perfect digital equivalent of building that particular the entire connected experiences. So I would like to conclude it by saying that this strategies or the approach is not just about creating a noise, it's more about resonating, connecting and leaving a long lasting impact on the customers. And as businesses unite with these pillars, they unlock the full potential of the marketing efforts, and they create a future where marketing is not just a strategy but a genuine connection. Thank you guys. So any questions?
So for example, as I fill the form and I prefer to marketing cloud. So you are filtering the data as per my real-time system, correct? So for example, if we have data around a year ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so we can also filter that particular data and create a new segment about it. Thank you.
Do we have any kind of licenses or any certification for this app that I need to purchase before going and starting a marketing campaign?
No. So that is, you have to by default. So let's say if you're using Marketing Cloud or maybe any other social marketing platform. So that platform has it inbuilt. So if you try to send an email without adding the physical mailing address or unsubscribe link, it would not allow you to send the email at all, because by default you have to follow all of that. Otherwise, it is because if it's not there, that's correct, right? What you're saying, you'll be sending the email, then it would not make any sense of the laws. But by default, it's there in the app that you have to follow in the platform that you have to follow those laws that comes under CAN-SPAM.
You mean to say it is tracked by
And
default,
yeah,
right?
it's more of region basis, like CAN-SPAM basically followed in US, so it's basically region basis. Like every region has their own laws, and we as a marketer, we have to follow the rules where we are sending the emails or the communication to the target audience.
So in that case, if my clients are from US, only in that case I will be following that, or if
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a best practice
Okay.
to follow, but in specifically in US, it's a regulatory law that you have to follow.
in
that you
India we
must-
don't
So,
have.
in India, there are different set of laws you do follow, but the laws are different because the government has made different laws. So CAN-SPAM Act is particularly for US, GDPR is particularly for EU region, and then there are different set of laws for India. So different regions have different set of laws under them.
But irrespective of the region, the best practice is you must follow.
Follow
So if
CAN-SPAM.
you are using a Salesforce marketing cloud, for instance, even if you are doing some work for China-based clients or India-based clients, and CAN-SPAM may not be directly applicable,
Exactly.
or is the law of the land, irrespective of that, it is highly recommended that you make your emails in such a way it becomes compliant.
Yes, thanks a lot.
As Bhavya is saying that according to preferences we are getting related notifications. But I have a question, like after a particular time, if I change my preference, then I'm getting notifications of the old preferences what I have made. So what can I do to basically not getting that kind of notifications?
First, that would not, if they're capturing the preferences, they would make decisions based on the preferences that you're making. But if still it's not happening, then you will have to reach out to the email through which you receive the their email communication. Or there are different ways through which you could reach out to the brand that it's not the preference that I'm making, why would you keep sending me these SMSs? But that's a scenario that might happen, but with growing times, with growing real-time communications and preferences, explicitly asking for your preferences, the companies make sure that do not make decisions which are not aligned with the preference that you're making, because again, same question will arise in others' mind as well, and what they would just go and unsubscribe or uninstall the app. So they will make sure that it is happening, but in case if it doesn't, you will have to reach out to the brand or to their support that this is not happening. So that is where the Service Cloud comes under the picture, right? So that's the process you would follow.
So I think with that we'll conclude our session. Thank you so much once again for dropping by. We hope that this was worth your time again. And let us know if you think there is something else that you can do. Otherwise, we'll mention short, small things to the point. But your feedback is no good. So thank you so much. Enjoy.